Case 1 Ems Granger vs. Emmer Granger, theft, assault, and a failed counterclaim. Ems Granger took Mr. Granger to court after a short-lived relationship ended in chaos. The two met at a gas station and casually dated. She later allowed him to stay at her apartment, but when she asked him to leave, she claimed he retaliated by stealing from her. She accused him of taking her cell phone, her brother's jewelry, and her late grandmother's jewelry. A police report was filed, and while a phone and a pink watch were eventually returned, much of the missing property was never recovered. Ms. Granger also testified that during a later visit, he assaulted her, leaving bruises and breaking her phone. The evidence was compelling. Police confirmed the return of some stolen items, and text messages showed the defendant admitting, "I took Sasha's stuff and Glenn's stuff, but not yours." Witnesses backed her story. Glenn testified that the defendant once lived with him and later stole electronics and a firearm, while Sasha said her son's video games disappeared after the defendant helped her move. Both described him as manipulative and untrustworthy. Mr. Granger admitted to taking some property but tried to justify it. He claimed the phone was his because it contained his pictures and said the pink watch was originally his gift, so he thought he could reclaim it. He also counterclaimed, alleging Ms. Granger owed him $1,700 from a supposed tax refund. Judge Judy dismissed this claim outright, pointing out he had never filed taxes and had no proof. Outcome: judgment for Ms. Granger, $2,000 in damages. Judge Judy rejected the counterclaim and emphasized the defendant's ongoing pattern of theft and dishonesty. Case 2, Lipscomb vs. Johnson, restitution and child support. Mr. Lipscomb and Miss Johnson share a son, Kendall, who lived with his mother throughout his life. Although not the custodial parent, Mr. Lipscomb remained actively involved. Their dispute centered on two financial issues: restitution from Kendall's juvenile case and an overpayment of child support. When Kendall was 14, he was charged in a bicycle theft case, and the court ordered him to pay $1,590 in restitution. Since he was a minor, both parents were legally responsible, but no payments were made. Years later, when Kendall was offered a chance to play football in another state, probation authorities required the restitution be paid in full. Mr. Lipscomb covered the entire balance himself. He insisted Ms. Johnson had agreed to split the cost. She admitted she owed at least half, but said she was financially unable to help at the time. Judge Judy made it clear both parents were equally responsible, so Ms. Johnson owed her share. The second dispute came from a child support audit, which revealed Mr. Lipscomb had overpaid $834.73. Ms. Johnson admitted receiving the money, but claimed she used it for Kendall's graduation expenses, believing it was acceptable. Mr. Lipscomb denied ever agreeing to this, pointing out that he wasn't even invited to the graduation. Judge Judy ruled that overpayments must be returned unless an agreement can be proven, which wasn't the case here. Before closing, Judge Judy spoke directly to Kendall. She reminded him that he had only one father and one mother, urging him not to cut ties with his dad, who had been present throughout his life. Outcome: judgment for Mr. Lipscomb, $1,629 total, half the restitution plus the child support overpayment. Judge Judy reinforced that financial obligations must be shared fairly and that extra payments cannot simply be kept.